that.
Not offending people. There's been a tremendous amount of discussion and movement nationwide towards the legalization of medical marijuana. Where in your thought processes does that have a place in your treatment, or is that another total does it have a place in this one?
I don't know what they're making medical marijuana out of. Marijuana, if you had pure marijuana, wasn't laced with chemicals and all of that sort of stuff, and you were using it for pain, I could see that. I can understand that short term, but not as a long term, because what it's going to end up doing is messing up with your neurotransmitters in your brain. So you're going to end up with more problems. You're going to be okay while you're doing it, but then you're going to be doing more and more and more, because you're just going to totally mess up the neurotransmitters in your brain. And I don't know what they're putting in that, if they're calling it medical marijuana, what kind of garbage chemicals are in that. And I mean, there are people, that smoke pot, and it was one way, and these days they're telling me I'm not a pot smoker, never did it, was not my thing. But now it's laced with so many chemicals and stuff that it's just really bad, from what I understand.
Here's my spin. Medical marijuana should be a hospice drug. Okay, people who are terminally ill and want to be made comfortable and have no reasonable expectation of living, it's fine. Okay? Apart from that, I would never use it for two reasons. Number one, it's never really been studied. There are really no statistical studies as to if you take a 35-year-old patient with chronic pain and you start giving them medical marijuana, what kind of state are they going to be in at 40, 50, 60, or whatever. That's number one. There is no data. Okay? Number two, really all you're doing is you're trading one thing for another. And the addictive property of marijuana is incredibly high. The pain relief is short-lived. The side effects are unknown. So it really, to me, again, when you're at the latter stages of life and with all the other things that we talk about doing in terms of comfort, if somebody is counting out their days and you want to make them comfortable, I have no problem if they're euphoric and happy, because I don't care what the long-term ramifications are, because we've determined as a medical population there are no long-term. But for and I've opted out, and medical marijuana exists in New Jersey. Okay? I've opted out, I won't write it, because there's a chronic pain implication. How do you define chronic pain? A month, a week, bad MRI, chronically sprained ankle. I mean, really, in all seriousness. And what am I doing to these people? At least if I give somebody a drug, and I'll use the term drug, if I give somebody ibuprofen, I know what that's going to do short and long term, because there's volumes and volumes of studies. So I can say to you, Jules, you have a choice. If you take this, you may eat a hole in your stomach, you may wind up with an ulcer, you may need stomach surgery, you may die from liver cancer, okay, you choose. Because here it is, if I give you medical marijuana, I have no idea what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years.
Everybody familiar with Dr. Andrew Weil? Most people have heard of him. This is his food pyramid, and I really like this for two reasons. Can you guys see it up there? Up at the top of his food pyramid, he has healthy sweets, such as plain dark chocolate, and I would say organic dark chocolate. That's a really good thing, huh? Yes, that's out in the other room. The second thing that I like is he's got red wine as a second thing on his food pyramid. No more than 1 or 2 glasses of red wine a day for the resveratrol. Of course, you can get that other ways, but I just thought it was interesting that he had that on those two things on the top of his, and the top being the things that you should have less of, the bottom being things you should have more of. But that is out on the table as a handout. No, isn't that funny, right?
If they're made from organic dark chocolate, 70% cacao at least, you can consider.
Right. Exactly. And you would think it's hard, oh my gosh, I can't do that, it's too hard to eat organic, I can't get, but once you just start, you make a little plan, maybe you cut one thing out a day, if it's donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, or whatever, Krispy Kreme, you can just start to cut some of that stuff out. You're going to see it's gluten-free? Okay. Well, that's good, it's gluten-free. But I still want to see what else is in there. It's a brownie, so what kind of sugar are they using? What are they using? You've got to be careful. You've got to be savvy when you're out there reading labels. You know, they're out there. Here's something somebody just told me. In olive oil, it can say olive oil. They only have to have like 3% of real olive oil in there, and the rest can be canola or crab oil, and call it olive oil. So if you're buying olive oil, you want to make sure it says 100% cold pressed olive oil, and preferably in a dark bottle. So that's how they get you. I mean, you've got to really work your way around in the food store. But really, once you get a plan and a set, it's not so hard. It seems overwhelming at first, but then it's not so hard. And you want to vary your food. You don't want to eat the same thing every day. It could be something you're allergic to. That's another thing we want to do, is just do a blood spot for food allergies. I eat like almonds every day. I could be allergic to almonds every day. I could be allergic to almonds. We tend to eat things that we're allergic to, so that's another way to get tested. And maybe you want to vary your foods. You know, you don't want to be eating the same things every day. This is just a quote that I thought might be appropriate. Negative and detrimental thoughts can grow as fast as weeds in a garden and show all beautiful and delicate flowers if they are allowed to take control. This is what I'm talking about. We're all one. We're all in this together. We're all like pendulums. Start a bunch of pendulums swinging randomly and come back a while later to find that they are all swinging in resonance. Given a little help and encouragement, we will all move towards resonance with each other. And I really believe that. I really believe that. As a people, we've got to do something. There's a lot of sick people out there, a lot of people hurting and lost, and it's groups like this that start to just kind of raise their thought patterns or their consciousness. You just say, yeah, well, what if? Well, maybe, you know, that there's a chance we can change it. Like I said, a simple change, a thank you note, a smile, whatever it is, just something nice. Makes you feel good, makes the other person feel good, and it goes a long, long way. It's not my job. When that person is ready, if what I'm saying resonates with that person and they hear me, then they'll understand what I'm saying, and then maybe it's time for them to seek something like that out. If it's not time, I'm not going to try to sell them on something like that. I'm presenting it as an option, and for those that it may resonate with, it may be something that they want to look into further. If it's not, then it's not, right? Just like anything else, it's up to the individual. There's all these things out there, but you make the choice. We all make the choices every single day.
I got a letter last week from a patient of mine who I haven't seen in about 18 months. She has RSD and she has MS. For those of you who say, why me? She said it twice. She's a translator, professional language translator. And she was with assistive device, canes, out of work for a period of time. And she got into alternative care, including Ayurveda, which is another form of alternative. And she called me to tell me that she missed me, and she was sorry she hasn't seen me in a year and a half. But she didn't need me. She had no pain, she had no symptoms, she was back to work full time, she was on no drugs. She was doing Ayurvedic healing, she was following anti-inflammatory diets, she was doing all the things that we're talking about today. I haven't seen her in 18 months. This is a very bright, forthright. Something clicked in her mind after infusions in Philadelphia-based hospitals for her MS and spinal taps and the whole 9 yards. So the point I think that needs to be made, and you bring it up, and the answer on the other end is the things that we are talking about in stages. I mean, you don't wake up one morning and say, I'm completely pain-free when you were taking 8 OxyContin the day before. But the bottom line is that when your mind gets into that and you start to move into a direction of positivity and all the things that you saw listed, pain or no pain, it's not a matter of waking up tomorrow pain-free, it's a matter of waking up tomorrow better than you were today. And over time, and I think that was the big problem with Jules with some of this stuff, over time, this stuff builds up, it has a cumulative effect, and it goes, it comes as long. If you take 3 forward and 1 back, 3 forward and 1 back, eventually you reach your goal. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen even in pain. I know we're going to do the experiment. I don't know if anybody has any other questions. The problem with needle sticks is that most venipunctures are done in the antecubital fossa, where the vein is. The vein sits next to the nerve, and so you always run the risk of hitting the nerve. I don't have any problem with acupuncture whatsoever. First of all, the needles are so fine, they're like threads of hair. And secondly, the likelihood of them going in and hitting any kind of nerve or doing any kind of nerve damage is minimal. Nothing's impossible, but it's minimal. So I tell people that acupuncture is positively fine. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, you tried it, but I don't see a downside to acupuncture. I had a question from earlier in the break about me talking about the predictive value of thermography, and just to elaborate on that, we've done 14, 15 people where they have come in with clear one-limb disease. My right arm is this, that, and the next thing, and the rest of my body is fine. When we do thermography of the body, we never ever do an arm or half a body, we do the full body. And in about 14 people, we have seen instances where each and every one of these people had thermographic changes in a limb that within 6 to 9 months became affected, meaning that they had symptoms. And in every one of these people, they did not have symptoms when they walked in, and every one of these people had spread to the limb that we knew it was going to spread to based upon the thermographic testing. Now, there's a problem with this, and the problem with this is what do you do with that piece of information? You're doing thermography to affirm the diagnosis of RSD, and now you're telling people, well, you know what, guess what? Before too long, it's going to be someplace else. And so the question arose back actually in Santa Fe, well, what about the placebo effect of telling somebody, hey, 6 months from now you're going to have it on your limb? So a lot of times I don't tell them just out of curiosity. Not that I'm practicing bad medicine, but I'm just saying, hey, yeah, you got RSD in your arm, and I wait and see. But the fact of the matter is that a placebo effect means that you wake up one morning and say, my leg hurts. Okay? On the other hand, if you wake up that morning, your leg is blue and freezing, that's not a placebo effect. That's real stuff that you can document by physical examination and further testing. So the prognostic value is clear and real, and in a perfect world, I would take that person when I did the thermogram and block them. Give them a sympathetic nerve block, basically saying, no, we're not going to let this happen. We're going to stop this before it gets there. We're going to get proactive before it happens. Unfortunately, the insurance industry in America is not going to let me do that. They're not going to let me do that because they're going to say they don't have symptoms there. Why would I let you do that? See, to me, that would be an ideal situation for sympathetic blockade, for the simple reason that we'd be putting up a wall before it actually happened, because we knew it was going to happen, but it had not yet happened. Silly stuff. I will answer your question with a 1-minute story. I have a patient who needs ketamine, who actually has one-limb disease, who tried everything. And they refused to give me ketamine because the insurance company says it's not, this is yesterday. This is not their policy. On Wednesday of this week, they sent him to North Jersey to a machine that I absolutely cannot remember the name of. It's some newfangled machine for neuropathic pain. I'm sorry? Yeah, Calmare, thank you. There's like 20 of them in the country. They're going to pay for the Calmare. I said, I've done 100 people. There's 66 ketamine centers in America. We got statistics from floor to ceiling about the ketamine. You're not going to pay for that. You're going to pay for this study, which I can't give him because it's like a TENS machine and he won't handle the vibration. And it will hurt him more than help. They're going to pay for this when there's no statistical studies, nothing in medical literature, and there's about 20 of these in the country. They'll pay for that because somebody told them to pay for that, but they're not going to pay for something that's going to work. So this is the mindset of the insurance industry. And I said, can you give me any logical reason? And the doctor I was speaking to said, yeah, that's what they told me to ask you. He's a gentleman, you know, what are you going to do? Any other questions? Right.
Homeopathic. Homeopathic.
Those are injections.
There's also oral forms of homeopathic medicines. I say medicine, it's a wrong word, homeopathic agents.
Remedies.
Okay. But from when I was looking at the two patients that you had, were those injections?
Injections.
Okay. And what I want to know is, you said that the insurance did cut you a check for them. Are they still cutting you a check for those injections?
That's the first one I got. I got it last week, actually. So I don't know how to answer your question because that's, up till now, when I was giving homeopathic injections, people were paying me because the insurance wasn't reimbursing me. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I just know that I finally got a check this week. It depends on symptoms. The two women that I spoke to, one woman had 2 sets and then was lost to follow-up in the practice. The other woman had 2 sets and doesn't need it anymore because she's having headaches. Mm-hmm. None.
And is this all within the is that a research trial or is it legal care?
No, it's legal. There's a whole school of homeopathy in this country and a whole series of homeopathic agents that you can use. The company that I'm particularly dealing with is HEAL, H-E-E-L, and they have a website and you can learn a whole bunch of stuff about what they do, but they have treatments for a myriad of things. And it's completely safe, and it's just a different, again, it's just a different mindset of thinking. It falls into what people call alternative or complementary medicine, but I'll tell you what, my eyes are open.
Do you find what goes with the family?
You got a lot of love about you.
I think your Uncle Jules is going to get better. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. We're going to do some stuff. Because I affirm that. Next question.
What parts of your body, or how much of your body has to be involved to be considered a compensation that the whole body part is
I don't know if you heard her in the back. The question was what percentage of your body has to be involved in order to have full body or whole body RSD. There's a lot of people who don't even recognize the term full body. To me, it's just one person, okay? To me, full body really involves multi-limb, more than one limb, and something else. See, when you take enough questions and you ask enough people, you find that the people have changes in their bowels, changes in their menstrual habits, changes in their urine flow, etc., etc., and it really is starting to affect the organ systems of the body. Once that happens, that's full body disease for me. If somebody has one arm, that's one arm. If somebody has both arms, because the spread is 90% horizontal, 95% horizontal, vertical, 5% diagonal. If somebody has 2 arms, I say they have multi-limb disease. Okay, when they get to 3 limbs, it's full body because it's crossed over the midline. So it's like people say, well, which stage am I? 1, 2. To me, stages of RSD is like pregnancy. You either are or you aren't. I'm very careful in people with upper body disease of stretching out the brachial plexus. You know, I don't want any lat pull downs and arm flies and things that are going to reach up and stretch. I don't want any pulley work where they're going to have to do their arms like this. I really want them to work on strengthening. Actually, if somebody has upper body stuff, I don't even send them for physical therapy. I send them to an occupational therapist who deals with hand, arm, and shoulder because I find that I get better results. But it's really not me telling them what to do. I just look at a plan and tell them what I don't want done. Physical therapists are offended if you try and tell them how to be a physical therapist when you're not a physical therapist. So I start the conversation by saying, I'm not a physical therapist, which I'm not. But I know it's going to hurt that patient. So I want to stay away from those things. Yeah, it's got to be real slow. It's got to be, crawl before you walk and walk before you run. It's more mobilization and then strengthening. And thank you for reminding me what I forgot. I appreciate that. He doesn't operate on people with reflex sympathetic dystrophy at this point in time, because like most orthopedic surgeons, if you send them a patient and the patient has reflex sympathetic dystrophy, they run the other way. Dr. Schwartzman and I wrote a paper which we are trying to get published, and right now, I'll tell you why it's not getting published, on the use of ketamine intraoperatively. And my portion of the paper was 20 patients. 20 patients that I sent to operating rooms for various and sundry reasons, from dental surgery to podiatric surgery. Every one of these people got ketamine procedurally, intraoperatively. Of the 20 people that I sent to the operating room, we're now 3 years out to follow up on some of these people. Not one patient extended the RSD. 0. So when I talk to orthopedic surgeons, I say, you go ahead and operate on that guy's knee, just this is what you need to do, give him intraoperative ketamine and so on. Not one. And the one that I thought might have extended wound up just being a very transient extension. It was a breast reduction surgery. And 6 months after breast reduction, she's back to where she was. So not one of these people extended their reflex sympathetic dystrophy using intraoperative ketamine. So the idea, of course, is if we can get the paper in the publication, then doctors will be less inclined to run in the other direction. So when I go out and give lectures at Pain Week and things like that, I make sure that the doctors hear that. And I get an amazing number of phone calls from across the country saying, how much do I give them, what do I do? But the results are astonishing. So the answer is no, he hasn't operated on him because the opportunity hasn't presented itself, but he would not have an issue with operating on him because he now knows what the buffering system is. I'll talk to anybody, by the way. If you want to have a surgeon call me or an anesthesiologist, I'll be happy to explain to them what we've done and how we've done it. Two things to tell you. One, when you do breast surgery, the other problem is they move your arm way back like this to free up the breast. Right. So that's a big problem with breast surgery. The other situation is that even in dental extractions, you can do this because you can take somebody to a hospital, give them a little anesthesia, and do whatever extractions you need to do safely. Some oral surgeons actually have ketamine in their offices because it's used very frequently in oral surgeon offices. Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, I've had 80% success. I've got 20% of people where it just doesn't work. You know, we tried and it didn't work and they move on. You know, my feeling has always been, and this is exactly the way I deal with people that I believe need ketamine, if you've run the gamut of things and they haven't worked, you have two choices. Try something that has an 80% success rate, or wake up tomorrow morning and know this is probably the best day of the rest of your life until we come up with something else.
Is that still recording?
As I used to, so.
The Menda, the drug Menda.
Right.
Right, I've known that for a long time.
Right.
You're back from those Alzheimer's and RC used for precursor to ketamine, isn't it?
Well, the Menda is what they call an NMDA inhibitor, which is, believe it or not, how they name the drug, an MDA. If you take it, put a couple of valves in, you know, I don't want to buy a couple of valves, you get the Menda. And the bottom line is that it's a very weak NMDA inhibitor. It's on this end, ketamine is at the other end. So the problem is that you really can't take a lot of the Menda because if you do, you get sick from it. The Menda is one of those kind of drugs that if you take it and it works, it's actually a drug for Alzheimer's disease and dementia and memory loss. If you take a little bit, it works great. If you take it for a month or two and it doesn't work, then just stop because it really is not not one of those drugs where more is better. And no, it's not a precursor to ketamine, it just happens. It'd be like comparing a Yugo to a Mercedes. First thing that came to my mind. Anybody else? Well, first, give yourselves a hand for being here on a Saturday during Christmas season. I don't know what Kirkpatrick is doing because I don't talk to him. The last time I talked to Dr. Schwartzman about that, which was about 2 months ago, he was still sending people. I talked to him the day before yesterday, he didn't tell me anything to the contrary. Dr. Schwartzman has met with a couple of physicians who are Panamanian born, who are at the University of Miami currently. And he has talked to them about opening a center in Panama, which will be these two guys running it and him providing the protocols. He was down there, he met with them. Everybody is very interested. It is an idea on the drawing board. It isn't there yet. The benefit of being in Panama would be threefold. One, it's a little bit nicer to be in Panama than to be into Monterey. Number two, it's going to be much more cost effective, meaning it's going to be much cheaper because that's the mandate that came from Schwartzman. And number three, are we still recording? Mm-hmm. Okay, then number three won't have anything to do with Dr. Kirkpatrick. I send patients to Dr. Schwartzman, who sends them to Monterey, which is the way we prefer to do it, and that's the way we have always done it.
Originally, it was my understanding that there was two roads to Monterey. It was from Florida or
There's actually four. There is me to Schwartzman to Monterey, there is Schwartzman to Monterey, there's Kirkpatrick to Monterey, and there's Monterey direct. Well, you've got to get to Dr. Ken. Right. That's how you get to Dr. Cantu directly.
All right. So it's just a very quick breathing exercise, and I'm going to just talk. I'll tell you how to do it, and then I'll talk you through it. You want to, if possible, feet flat on the ground, uncross your arms, and just get as straight as possible, because your spinal cord is where you're bringing in energy. Good postures. Yep. So, and this is from Dr. Andrew Weil. We're going to be breathing in through our nose for 4, for the count of 4. And then we're going to hold that for 7. And then we're going to exhale for 8. Okay? So, and you can do an audible exhale, but you really, he says, you really want to get all of the air out, because the more air that you get out, the more that you can bring in, okay? So close your eyes, and I'm going to count it for you, okay? So we're going to start with an inhalation of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do it 4 times. Inhale for 4. Hold it for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale on 8. Let it out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8 and let it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Are you supposed to have a little headache right here?
You could get a little lightheaded.
With the nose, where you have a little bit of massage package. Did anybody else get a little headache right here when you were doing it?
Okay, yeah, no, I've never heard that, but
Oh, you did?
you got a little headache right here? Okay, from when you were holding it? All right, so, yeah, right. When you're breathing out, guys, I noticed some of you weren't really, you had your mouth closed. You really want to, like you're sighing. I mean, when you sigh, doesn't it feel so good? When you sigh and you stretch, you just go, ah. You just want to let it out. Don't hold that in and let it in. So breathe that out as much as you can. You can do that as many times as you want a day, but you can only do those 4 inhalations at a time, because it's powerful. It's very good when you wake up in the morning, and very good when you're trying to go to sleep at night. After you've been practicing it for a couple months, you can go up to 8 inhalations, but still only 8 at one time. Okay? I'm sorry? Breath work, if you get a book on breath work is very powerful. It helps to reset all of everything that's going on in your body, your brain chemistry, your organs. It's just, that's why when people are doing yoga and you're doing breath work, it's like one of the oldest forms of healing. It's just get a book and do some reading on it. Yeah. Just that, even just, you know how good it feels to do a sigh, right? And to take a nice deep breath. Joy, I would, and normally in my demonstration, I would just do some Reiki on Joy and I would fix her chakras that were off. So this is the first time I'm trying this experiment. I would like you guys in the audience to help me out now. We saw that her upper 3 chakras were off. I'd like you to send Joy positive, kind, loving thoughts. If you can't do that, then don't send her any thoughts, okay? No negative thoughts, okay? Let's see if we can turn this around through our consciousness and help this lady out with her, help Joy out with her chakras, all right? Can we do that? So for just a couple minutes, you can look at her, with this beautiful woman, and send her just loving, joy, good energy. Yeah, and just see the beauty of her. And you too, reflect that back as they're looking at you. See the beauty of everybody that's looking at you. You feel that? Yeah, that's nice, right? That's love coming at you. Good. Now, it's going in the right direction, guys. And if you've stopped sending her loving thoughts, I want you to just now do it again. Just send them out to her.
Wow. It's going really fast.
Can you see it, Joy? Can you feel it? So there's the power of your thought. There's the power of your thought on this lovely woman, Joy. What will come true? All of those loving thoughts that were just sent to her just balanced her heart chakra. And I would think that she's going to take that with her, sure, yeah. She's going to feel that, because I can feel that wave coming up here. So I would say for sure she's going to take that with her. And she can, in times when she's feeling down, think about that. You know, just bring that back and get that feeling again. Let's check your throat. And then your third eye is off and your crown is on. Top is your crown chakra. The color is white, and it's your connection to spirit, God, Creator. Yeah, it was good. I just want to see what it's doing now. looks good. What's the matter?
She's going bad.
Yeah. And it's getting bigger and bigger now. Just as you laughed, did you people notice that? When she started to laugh, did you see what happened to the pendulum? It's getting bigger and wider and faster. Look. Yeah, when you guys started to laugh,
It releases.
exactly, endorphins. And it's gone gangbusters now. Yeah.
Oh, you should have seen where this got cut off. Yes, it's bigger.
The way I started doing this experiment, I was checking my niece's chakras. I have 4 or 5 of them. I was doing one of their heart chakras. It wasn't really going. It was just kind of, didn't know what it wanted to do. And then her little sister ran in the room, and the heart chakra just went crazy. And I saw the relationship between that.
Now I have this pin, but it's a pin of beads.
Okay.
It's all color chakras. The first one's the largest. And in the colors of what the chakra is, the orange, the green, blue, turquoise. I used to wear that all the time, but I don't anymore.
Okay.
Is it like that you, I don't remember when I was wearing it. Are you constantly aware that it's there, or does it just help balance?
It probably just helps balance, yeah. Yeah, and there's probably just some things that are going on with you right now that your upper chakras are out of balance. Not major stuff, just usually it's of an emotional nature or spiritual. Yeah.
Emotional nature with no spirituality attached to it.
Right.
I would like it to be.
Generally, it's an emotional nature, or something emotional. Okay, well, thank you so much, Joy. You're welcome.
I have to
Are they so cute?
ask you
Macy's. They're recently, a couple months ago. American Rag.
And I have to leave because it just seems like that gloss got shinier and shinier.
Did it? Wow.
I mean, that's what I had to do for the first.
Okay, so we're gonna do what we did with Joy, right? We're gonna test your chakras. That's what you want me to do, right?
And then tell me what each one means there.
Okay.
My
I'm sorry? Oh, that's pretty, my knee.
thank you.
Is that what it's about, really?
No.
That's interesting. Just rest your hands. Yeah, it's kind of separate. Yeah, yes, it is. Just set it up. Right, so we're gonna check your root chakra.
Base chakra,
This is your
kidneys
base.
and adrenals.
This is your root chakra, and this is your connection to Mother Earth. This is whether or not you're grounded. What are the organs associated? What are the organs associated?
Base, kidney and adrenal.
Kidney and adrenal. The next one is your digestion. So that one's off. Then we're going to go to the next one, which would be about here.
Second chakra, sacral.
They are, right?
Sexual organs and bladder.
Okay. And we're going to the next one, which is your solar plexus.
Solar plexus, spleen, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas.
Did you hear that? But also it gives a description there, doesn't it?
No power, control, identity, empathy, relationships, activity, ability to accept others.
That's what's all housed there within those organs. Okay? Okay, then we'll move up to your heart, and just if you would read what is associated.
Is thymus and physical heart, unconditional love, compassion, healing, warmth, ability to transform energies with love.
This should be circle. It should be.
Let's do your throat.
Throat is thyroid and vocal cords, communication, expression, creativity, ability to speak your truth, and a connection to the outside world.
No problem there, baby.
Well, that one's working.
I think your family corroborates that.
Yeah, the volume and where can you use us to be helpers?
And we had 3 months of direct last night.
Wow. Okay.
I got to be honest, I speak my mind.
All right, good.
Third eye chakra, pituitary, conscious perception, higher mind, intellect, intuition, and balance.
And your crown.
And the crown chakra for self-realization, human perfection, and awareness of eternal self.
That's good.
Really?
Yeah, God or Creator. Some people have an aversion to the word God, or you know, what? Yeah, it's going around. What's the matter? Go ahead. Oh, okay. All right. So, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to show you how I would work on that, and show you also what you can do about it?
Sure. Work on,
The chakras, just getting your chakras balanced.
it wouldn't be what I know is going on.
It could be, yeah. But right now, we can, because we're still working in energy, even though you have a physical element there, we can try to get that chakra going in the right direction.
Awesome. You can do something right now.
Yeah.
That your daughter Alyssa, remember me? Amazing, beautiful, beautiful little dog.
He's cute too.
And the other 2 kids were good too, but she was so helpful. The dance and everything, she got checking on me. Beautiful, wonderful.
Yeah. Sweetheart. Okay, so let's see what we can do here, okay? I want you to concentrate now. We're going to be working on your root chakra. Do you mind that everybody's watching? Okay. We're going to be working on your root chakra. Okay, so I want you to picture a cord coming from Creator down through your head, a light, a cord. No. As long as you can hear me, coming through your head and through your body and down out of your lower back and into the ground. Like a cord of light coming down. Yeah. Picture that, and it's coming down and it's anchoring you into the ground, going way down. And now it's like the roots of a tree going down, down into the earth and anchoring you. Okay, tell me when you feel that. Is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah. Wait. Is this supposed to be cold?
My hands are cold right now. Why?
I only have. I don't think I wear this touch right. I don't have hot and cold. When I'm in the shower, I can already feel it.
Really?
My arms are down. I just want your cold again. Does that mean anything of what you're doing?
Yeah. You don't feel hot at all. My hands might be.
I don't really understand how important it is. Yeah, I don't understand what I just felt.
Just trying to get that balance. Set with your hands around.
You pretty have a hot cup of coffee. I'll just see if I can feel that.
Just uncross your arms, right?
What?
Just uncross your arms. Okay, so your root chakra's going down. So it's going back and forth now. It's going in a nice circle. Still want a hot cup of coffee with you? You want to fix your heart chakra first? This one's going good now too. All right, so can we do what we did for Joy? And let's get her heart chakra going. All right, so we're all just going to send you love and positive thoughts. We're going to see her as a whole, complete, perfect person, being spiritual, being beautiful person that she is, okay? And you reflect that back. Good. Alright, so the group for you, just put your heart chakra, as you can see, going really, really well. Their thoughts, the love that they just sent you, just affected your energetic being.
Thank you. I would have
Sure? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dying to say this. I heard this line on the radio tape and I've been dying to say this. I married well. She did. Thank you all. Any questions that you have later, you know how to find me. We have a website. I have one for this that is really kind of interesting to look at called drgetson.com. We're putting together one called healththroughawareness.com. It's actually, is it running? Health Through Awareness? No, but it will be. So if you have any questions, call. We'll answer the questions, we'll talk to you, whatever, and tell your friends that there's really more out there than they're seeing and reading, and let's talk to people and do that old Pantene commercial. I told 2 friends who told 2 friends who told 2 friends. Drive safely during the holiday season, and thank you all.
Thank you.